And here we are yet again for another episode of How Can I Match My Makeup to the Moon Sign? Here on AstroBeauty. I guess we're doing theme songs or intros today. Welcome to AstroBeauty, and thanks for tuning in. Today the moon is in Scorpio, so let me go ahead and put my face makeup on, and then I'll be back to talk all about the moon in Scorpio and all about the makeup in Scorpio. See you guys in just a minute. So here we are back with my full face of makeup and ready to start on our AstroBeauty discussion of the day. As you can see, for my Scorpio vibe today, I am wearing red and black for Mars and Pluto, a pretty common color scheme for Scorpio. And that's what we're doing for my makeup today. I'm gonna try some new shades out of my Cosmic Reflex palette. My Scorpio look that I have in mind for today is not too crazy. I just want to go with some more red tones and some shimmers on my eyes, a nice black line, some downplayed cheeks, and I haven't decided. It depends on how dark my eyes come out because I haven't used these colors yet. So I don't know if I'm going to do like more of a nude lip or if I'm going to do more of like a brick red lip. That will depend on how it goes with the eyes. But let's just get started. Scorpio, here we are at Scorpio. And what does Scorpio mean to us this month? Well, first off, now I'm just going to prime my eyes with this magic eyeshadow primer from the All Natural Face. I, here at AstroBeauty, am an all-natural makeup channel. What does that mean? Well, it means that I only use makeup products that have ingredients in them that are not harmful to my body or the planet or anything else. And I feel like that's really important because our skin has so many pores in it. It's the largest organ on our body. And when we put things onto our skin, it gets absorbed into our bloodstream. And I would rather have, I try to keep my bloodstream as clean as I can. And if there's an alternative to toxins, I try to take it. And here at AstroBeauty, my goal is to try all of the natural brands, all of the best stuff out there, and see how beautifully and wonderfully they work and function. And just maybe we can go ahead and do a little swap with the other beautiful, wonderful makeup products that unfortunately do still formulate their products with harmful toxic chemicals. There's my thing about being natural. I don't know why I have to sing and talk. I don't know why I do that. Sorry. It just comes out that way sometimes. So when the moon goes into Scorpio, I like to channel, more of the darker, tougher, in control, powerful type of things. And I like to wear red and I like to wear black because Mars and Pluto rule Scorpio. It's a sign of the underworld, the depths, and also it's very passionate and powerful. So that's what we're doing. And for my makeup, I'm going to use this color Quartz for base. I'm going to try out this color Crystal Flower, which looks like, you look at it, right, and it looks like it's brown, but when I swatch it, it's red. So I don't know. And then I was thinking about using this Magic Wand color too, although that looks a little darker. I don't want really a dark eye today. I just want kind of, we'll see how it goes. Kind of a more subtle but reddish black eye. And depending on how that goes, I'll decide the rest of my lips. Okay. So, and I'm also going to use this Athena color out of my Pacifica Moonflower palette, just for a crease. All right, so let's get started with that, and we can talk about the astrology. So the moon is in Scorpio, and for the sake of brevity, let's just call my last cycle of videos Intro to the signs and the makeup corresponding with the signs. So I don't have to go back and describe everything and why I want to wear everything with everything at every time and everywhere. All right, so for Scorpio, black and red, what I'm going with today. And as the moon goes into Scorpio every month for the next 7 years, what will it do? It will oppose Uranus. All right, I'm going to start with this quartz color, and I'm just going to dust it all over my eye. It will oppose Uranus because Uranus has moved into Taurus, where it is stationed for the next 7 years. Taurus is the opposite sign of Scorpio. So for the next 7 years, as Uranus goes on its journey through Taurus, it will certainly be opposing Uranus. So this couple days, this Scorpio, as the moon goes through Scorpio, we have our once a month opposition to Uranus by the moon, our little emotional, mental trigger point. So when the moon makes its once monthly opposition this couple of days, I think that it is a time of the month when the Uranus frequency gets triggered off by the moon, and it's possible to experience some type of shakeups, surprises, accidents, shocks, things coming out of the blue, out of nowhere, just generally surprising things happening to kind of shake up what needs to be shaken up in our lives. Because the whole thing with Uranus is it basically takes a situation that is stuck or that is not going how it needs to go in order for X highest outcome to happen, and it just does whatever it takes to get it there. And a lot of times it doesn't really feel so good. and it feels like really hard times while we're going through it, but like in retrospect, it was the best thing that ever could have happened type of situation. So that's kind of like okay, I am going in now with this Athena right here. It's brown, but it kind of like it pulls more cherry, more red. So I'm just going to do this like a tiny bit just in my crease. So yeah, Uranus is basically who we can thank for making sure that we stay on the right track, even if we really don't want to. That's kind of how I see Uranus. And so, like I said, for the new moon, if you watched my new moon video, the new moon occurred at 6 degrees of Libra, which was making a exact aspect by quintile, which is a fifth harmonic, like 72-degree aspect. It was making that to Uranus, the new moon. And so I feel like Uranus, because of that quintile aspect, I feel like Uranus is really assisting Venus this month in bringing us like beautiful, like pleasant, nice things. And so as the moon opposes Uranus for the first time this cycle, or for this cycle, because it only happens once, I think that that might be a, trigger for some of Uranus's shakeups and surprises that are coming. And these are beneficial, like blessing in disguise type things. All right. I just love this Athena color so much. Like, sometimes like it looks like not that exciting in the palette, but then I put it on and I'm just like, oh, I just want to wear you. I feel like that with a lot of colors. Have I mentioned I love Pacifica Beauty? They really are stepping up their game so much. They have hemp infused makeup now. Their latest release, they're making like hemp infused products, which I think is nice because we all know that hemp is one of the most versatile and healing plants basically on the planet. So let's all put it in our makeup too. I like that. And I'm assuming it's hemp oil that they're using for their products. All right, I think I'm going to go just around my eye a tiny bit with this. All right, so that is basically generally what I have to say for Scorpio. I mean, it is a fixed sign, and the fixed signs are not totally on blast right now, but it is holding the opposition to Uranus, and it's for the next 7 years. So we just have to keep in mind every month when the moon goes through Scorpio, it is setting off that opposition with Uranus. And it is the monthly opposition to the sign where Uranus is in. And like I said, because of the degree where Uranus and the new moon were, I think that this, as the moon goes through this time, we might see some of those blessings in disguise start to play out for us. Very nice. All right, now I am going to go into this Cosmic Reflect palette, and I'm going to use this shade Crystal Flower right here. I hope you can't even see it. Right there. And I am going to put this basically just like all over my lid, because this is really the only color that I wanted to use today. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I have noticed these shimmers, there is quite a bit of fallout. And so I'm going to try not to get it all over my face. It's the only thing that I'm not nuts about. All right, so let's talk more specifically about you Scorpios for this month in this new moon cycle. Well, the new moon in Libra that just happened would have happened in your 12th house, most likely, because if you are an ascendant in Scorpio, that puts Libra, where the cycle just happened, oh yes, into your 12th house. I mean, it could be your 11th too, but most likely it will be your 12th. And so what do we know about a new moon happening in the 12th? Well, what do we know about the 12th? The 12th, it's ruled by Pisces, Neptune. It's where we like escape. It's where we find connection to source. There's also like a really strong infusion of creativity that comes through the 12th. It's where we recreate, leisure time. It's also where we like dissolve our connections to things. That's really pretty. Yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm actually not going to do too much more because I don't want it to be too dark, but it is, like, it's weird because it totally, like, when you look at it in the palette, it looks like it's like a shimmery taupe, like brown or something, this one right here. But it's really red. It's really red. And it's exactly what I was having in mind. I swatched it on my arm last night when I was trying to decide what to do today, and I was like, oh, that is not what I thought it was, but it is very, very pretty. All right, so with the new moon having happened in your 12th house, and also let's keep in mind that your ruling planet is Mars, well, and also Pluto, but Mars, it's Scorpio, so we need to pay attention to what's going on with Mars too. I'm going to go a little bit around my eye with this too. And then I'm going to do a liner or curl my lashes, and then we'll be done with the eye look for today. So with all of those planets and most likely your ruler and Mars, who is coming in to Libra now. So Mars may have actually been in your 11th house at the time of the full moon, which could be giving energy to like groups, organizations, networks, social like ongoings, networks, groups, associations, causes that you're a part of. Super pretty. All right, well, I guess we're done with you for now. There may have been more energy towards those things this month. All right, now I'm going to use my Pacifica little eyeliner pencil just above my lash line. Yeah, so Mars may have been in your 11th, and Mars is your ruler, so there may have been like a lot, or there may be this month like an emphasis on, like I just said, like groups, networks, goals, hopes, wishes, dreams, social groups, organizations, stuff like that. And also, there's another thing I want to say about Mars before we move forward. In a lot of like different types of astrology, because there's so many different types of astrology, when planets get too close to the sun and you can't perceive them, they say because they're just like so close to the sun that you can't, they get like overcome by the sun's like energy. They say that they're combust or that they're invisible. And like according to different forms of ancient astrology, when the planets are invisible or combust too close to the sun to be seen independently, they're not operating like from their full strength and potential. And that's been the case with Mars for the past little while. It's been invisible or like combust by the sun, and it will continue to be that way until November. So anyone who is ruled by Mars, which would be Aries people and Scorpio people, you guys might generally have a lack of like dynamic energy that moves you forward until Mars becomes visible again. And there might be just like an internalization of energy or a frustration, things not just going as they should, you know? Things not moving forward. And once Mars becomes visible again, which, like I said, will happen next month in November, that will really be the time for you Scorpios when things start getting much better and you start moving forward in a lot of ways and feeling like progress and just feeling better generally about things. All right, so I've done a little bit of this. I did my upper lash line and I did a little bit on my lower, just to add a little more form to my eye. Good. All right, now I need to curl my lashes. I need to do, you know what, I'm actually just gonna go back in real quick to this Cosmic Reflect palette in the quartz color and just blend out the top just a little bit. So yeah, Scorpios, for this month, the rest of this month, with Mars invisible and also with the new moon and a lot of the sun, the moon, Venus, Mercury in your 12th house, you may be tired. You may like feel like you just kind of want to escape from things. You may need to take some vacations. You may need to just relax, take it easy. Like you may not be super like inspired to be out doing big things. Your ruling planet, your motivation is still close to the sun and not really functioning in its own like authority and power. And like I said earlier, the 12th house causes us to kind of like want to retreat and like not like expend tons of energy, just kind of like relax, like leisure time, like processing, connecting to spirit, like, you know, it rules like meditation or escapism or, and also like really profound creativity. And with Mercury and Venus in Libra, where Venus is the ruler in your 12th house, you may get some really like beautiful creative inspirations over this month, whether it be like in writing, Mercury, like storytelling or painting, drawing, just singing, creating. Mercury and Venus together in Libra in your 12th, inspired creativity, beautiful creations, or just a refined ability to like connect to in relationships too, because Venus rules relationships, or to speak eloquently. And Mercury, Venus, beautiful speech patterns, beautiful communications, beautiful messages, songs, communications, stuff like that. Maybe you're listening to some great music, maybe you're making some great music. Yes. All right, let me curl my lashes. This is super pretty. And still don't have a new eyelash curler. It's just eyelash curlers are so like not exciting. Like when I go to the store and I'm in the makeup section, it's just hard for me to divert funds to an eyelash curler when there are so many other things that I actually want. I don't know. So yeah, Scorpios, for this month, if you're feeling like a desire to retreat or to just kind of have like a vacation or to create inspiring things or to, I don't know, just like sleep, yeah, that might be like, that's kind of where the energies are directing you, you guys, this cycle, just because of where they're placed for you and the fact that until next month your ruling planet is still like invisible according to like the more ancient methods of astrology. And I feel like that does have an impact on the way that the energies operate and manifest. Another thing with your ruler Mars with the sun in the 12th house, your 12th house this month, because even if the Mars wasn't in your 12th house at the time of the new moon, it will be moving there this month. You might also, like, it's kind of ironic because, you know, like I said, like the urge to retreat, to have leisure time, to have vacations, to just kind of relax and chill and like disconnect from mundane worldly things. Simultaneously, you have the sun and Mars going into your 12th, so you might also like not be able to sleep. Like you might also be like quite like restless in your sleep, having like restless dreams or like just not sleeping that well because the two very powerful like action spurring planets, Mars and the sun, Mars being your ruler, going through the 12th of sleep. Yeah, it just, you might not be sleeping so well despite your general desire to disconnect for the next couple weeks as this cycle plays out. So that's just something to keep in mind. Also, if you're a Scorpio, then Uranus is in your opposite in your 7th house. So the changes and shakeups that happen as the moon go through your sign may pertain to relationships and other people. Something to keep in mind. So that's basically what I want to say for you guys about the new moon having happened. Most likely it happened in your 12th house with your planet who is invisible coming into your 12th house. And that just presents an opportunity to feel more, like I said, desire to retreat and have some leisure time and, you know, not be like super like out in the world and stuff. Although traveling, long distance travel, vacations, trips, those might be something that is indicated by the energies. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this under eye done, and then I will finish everything up. All right, so I've basically said what I want to say about the new moon for you guys. And now let's just talk generally about the placement of the big planets for you and how they're playing out, how this might affect your upcoming month. So the first thing for you guys is you have Jupiter right now, and you've had for a while, in your 2nd house. So I would imagine, Scorpios, that there has been some type of expansion of resources, value, money, finances, something like that, over the past, where's my sponge? Over the past few months since Jupiter has been transiting your 2nd house. Now, Venus at the time of the new moon was in exact sextile to Jupiter. So, and Venus is the ruler of Taurus who rules the 2nd house. So I would think over this cycle, Scorpios, that you might be getting some pleasant surprises, Uranus, in regards to good things happening with money, resources, value, possessions, security, something like that. You guys should be feeling or getting some good information. Venus was with Mercury about that area of life because that's where Jupiter is expanding for you right now. And usually when Jupiter goes through the 2nd house, there's an expansion of resources of some kind. All right, I'm going to powder my under eye. I'm going to do some blush, and I'll do my mascara and a lip. If you guys saw in my intro today, for my cheek base, I used my Burt's Bees stick. These are awesome. This is the color Dahlia Dew. And I just like to lay, instead of putting foundation all over my face, I like to lay down like a cream cheek instead of foundation, like on my cheek area. I don't know why. I just feel like it makes it a little brighter and less like all one color to start off my makeup looks. So that's what I did for today. And this is the Bamboo Blur Powder from 100% Pure. It is the finest powder I've ever seen in my life, and it's really, really nice. I love this powder. All right, so yes, Jupiter in your second was making sextile to Venus at the new moon, who rules Taurus, which is the second house. And so I feel like, and was with Mercury, so information, messages regarding expansion of resources somehow coming to you guys this month. All right, for my blush today, I am going to use this here antique brick color. It's from the All Natural Face. It's one of my samples. I ordered the All Natural Face. It's this really great company. It's more like a bulk company. Like they don't do like, there's no emphasis on like packaging or presentation or anything like that, like at all. But their products are so good and they are so functional and they're so beautiful, and the price points, can't beat them. Cannot beat them. So I just love trying their products, and like I use their foundation, their lip foundation, it's really good. I use their primer, is really great. I use like all their stuff all the time. I have lots and lots of blushes, lots of eyeshadows from them, and they are all so good. I've actually like, I go back and forth. I have their cream foundation that I use for a contour, and I really like it. I just really like that product, and I really like their prices. Like I can get a lot of makeup from them, and it's really good stuff. So this is just loose minerals. I just put it in this empty container, the color Antique Brick. It's, I don't know if you can see that. It's just like, it's like a, just kind of like a tan nude, not too red, but I don't want like a bright cheek. But I didn't want just like a bronzed cheek either. So this is what we're going with. Yeah. Perfect. All right. So let's continue on. You guys, I said you have Jupiter in the second, expanding your resources, your security, your values, stuff like that. Yes. Now, then, therefore, that puts the big conjunction for you guys, Saturn, Pluto, South Node, into your third house. Because if you have Scorpio ascendant, then that puts Sag on the second, Cap on the third. So that means that this month and many other months, there's an emphasis on your communication style, learning short trips, everyday people that you encounter, just chit chat, messages, chatter, stuff like that. And the way that you communicate generally, the way that you learn, the way that you seek information is going to be going. That's where your purge and transformation is playing out for you guys in the third. And it is moving you towards the ninth, where your North Node is then, and trying to bring you into some type of belief system or understanding or perception or foreign place that lines you up more with your true authentic self. The third and the ninth polarity for your personal transformation, purge, release of karma. Just gonna buff this out a little bit. And so last but not least, that would put the Black Moon and Neptune conjunct this month into your fifth house, because Aquarius would then be on the fourth, so Pisces would be on the fifth. And as an ascendant in Scorpio, you are holding the trine between the North Node in Cancer and the Black Moon and Neptune in Pisces. And those are actually very like close degrees. The North Node, I think, is at 14 Cancer. The conjunction between Pisces and the Black Moon was at, I'm just going to do a tiny bit more under my eye because I came a little closer with my blush than what I wanted to. Yeah, the Black Moon and the Neptune conjunction is at 17. And so that's a pretty close trine. Like, that's definitely within range. They're only 3 degrees. So you guys, especially if you have an ascendant like in the mid-range degrees of Scorpio, you're holding that trine between the North Node and the Black Moon Neptune. And the Black Moon Neptune, especially conjunct, and for this month, they're really receiving like divine assistance and blessings in the form of like love, like unconditional like love and healing, the way that I see it, because of how they're interacting with Venus, the ruler of this cycle. So yeah, like the Black Moon and Neptune conjoined are really trying to help us heal and dissolve shadow issues. And we know that because we know that they're trying to help us because they're in that trine, which is an assisting, helping aspect with the North Node, the destiny point where we're going to. So we can't get to where we're going to without clearing out that shadow side, that darkness, that self-sabotaging programming that prevents us from like rising to the place we need to and fulfilling our true purposes here. So yeah, like Ascendant and Scorpios, you guys are the 3rd water sign. So you guys, especially if you're in the mid-range of that, are forming that grand trine with that energy. So, and especially since the conjunction of the Black Moon and Neptune is so active and in effect this whole month, this month really, really for you Scorpios might be a time while you're retreating, while you're having your downtime, where you're really like purging and clearing out issues in relation to, I mean, the 5th house, like what you do for fun, what you find pleasurable, how you create children, loyalties, stuff like that. So maybe you're just like really like going over, processing, questioning, checking, dissolving, healing, removing blockages in regards to those type of things. While this cycle, you have all of those 12th house planets, because forming that grand trine, like something about that Scorpio energy, you guys really are getting a lot of assistance because you have 2 trines to that Black Moon Neptune conjunction this month and also the North Node. So you're like right in the middle of that. So there's tons of assistance trying to help you clear, purge, heal, resolve, dissolve issues and come to the point where you're supposed to be getting to in that 9th house of changing your belief systems or your perceptions of reality, all of that somehow. And it really plays out nicely because you have Venus and Mercury in the 12th, messages, love, beauty coming through, and downtime and relaxing, being able to connect to source, retreat, just kind of go within yourself. And that is very like appropriate timing for that trine that you have going on, considering the fact that the Black Moon Neptune are conjunct, and that's the frequency of the month, and they're in quite a direct aspect with the North Node. All right, mascara time. The daily mascara sniff. Are we ready? It's so nice. So, guys, that's basically what I have to say for you, Scorpios, for this month, for this Libra cycle. Uranus is making the opposition after having been in quintile to the degree of the new moon. Or I should say the moon is making the opposition to Uranus. So expect maybe some shakeups, surprises, things coming out of the blue, unexpected situations. These will be working to move us toward what needs to happen for us over the next month as we move towards the destiny point. All right, while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm just going to throw on a little tiny bit more bronzer just around my face and a little more powder just to like bronze it up a little bit. And this is the Mineral Fusions bronzer, the shade Sparkle with Hit Pan. I've had this for quite a while. Their bronzer's not super cheap, but it's nice. Mineral Fusions is a pretty good brand. I actually got a new lipstick from them yesterday because I felt bad because I was like kind of talking down on their lip products aside from their lip liners, which I love, but I had never actually tried one of their technical lipsticks. Like I have a bunch of the crayons and I have some of their like lip butters, but I'd never tried one of the actual sticks, and I realized that, and they were on sale at Whole Foods. So I bought a lipstick yesterday and I think I'm gonna try it today, but I don't know, guys. Tried it a little yesterday, and granted I put it over something that I already had on, but I don't know. It seemed completely sheer, not like a very smooth formula. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll surprise me. I don't know. Yeah, so astrology for you guys. This seems kind of like a month of downtime to me, but not meaningless downtime, like downtime for the purpose of really, I mean, we all have the Black Moon Neptune conjunction this month, but you guys are the trine with it, and you guys hold the opposition to Uranus, and you guys have all the planets in your 12th. And your ruler is invisible right now. So, yeah, maybe some downtime this month to kind of like process your issues. Don't feel bad about that. Like I said, if you're not sleeping that great also, it could have something to do with Mars and the Sun in your 12th. And next month, Scorpios, is, like I said, I think that is going to be, not just because, you know, the sun is in Scorpio, that doesn't really have much to do with it. It's more so the fact that Mars will be coming back in his full glory, and that is your ruler. Yes. All right. Do a little powder, do a little lip, and we are going to be done. This is kind of how I'm trying to do the astrology right now. I need to make these videos shorter, so I can't say every single thing that I want to. But I feel like that's a good, like, general overview for you guys for the month. Of course, there's a lot more going on. Of course, you know, you need to know your chart and your chart placement to know exactly how it's playing out for you, but generally, that's what I'm thinking. So, yes. And remember, there's that square to Mercury between Pluto, so secrets revealed, things coming out for all of us over this next month. Okay. For my lips today, like I said, I want to try the new lipstick that I got, and I have this Mineral Fusions pencil in the shade Graceful. We're going to use that. Okay, so here we go, and we're lined. Again, that was my Mineral Fusion in the shade Graceful. I love that pencil. I love Mineral Fusion pencils. I have 3 of them right now, and they are literally like my go-to. I have so many lip pencils, but I just love the formulas of them, and I don't know why those are so good, but the other lip products are so weird. So this is my new lipstick. I got this yesterday. It's from Mineral Fusions. It's in the shade Molten Fusion. It is a lipstick. It looks like this. Of course, when I got it in Whole Foods, it looked like super nude, like nude. And then when I got it in the car, it looked like brick red. I can't stand how the colors look so different in the lights in the store for some reason. But we're going to try it anyways. I might need to wipe this off and put something else on because I don't know if it's going to be great. But it does kind of match with my makeup today, so let's just give it a try and see. It blends beautifully with my lip line. You know what? I may have been too harsh. Now, these lipsticks do not smell good, okay? They don't smell good. It smells like, I don't know, they should have used some type of butter, like shea butter or, you know, coconut butter or something that has a better natural smell to it. I don't know what they used. It smells like glycerin or something. But I underestimated. It didn't go on over what I was wearing yesterday. It looked completely sheer. But when I just put it on, it actually blends like completely beautifully with the pencil. And I'm actually pretty happy with it right now. I am going to put a little bit of setting powder over it so it's more matte. I have this setting powder from the All Natural Face that I stopped using once I got my Bamboo Blur powder because, I mean, that's just the best. But I do like to tap this on my lip when I want a matte lip, and I have like a sheen like lipstick. See? It does great. It just taps right in and like mattes everything out. And it looks like perfect. It doesn't dilute the color at all. Yes. It's really nice. All right, so that's pretty much it for my makeup. I'm gonna throw some of my setting powder on all over my face. And then I am going to go and finish like doing my hair and stuff like that. And I'll be back to do my recap. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do my highlight. For my highlight today, I have this. I'm really mineral fusioning today. I should put that on my video. This video highlights mineral fusion products. I didn't even plan it that way, but that's just how it's going. This is also from Mineral Fusions. This is their little highlighting compact. It's called Radiance. It's illuminating powder, they say. They say. And I'm going to use this one right here. And where are you, little brush? I have this like little angle-ish brush. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of that on. Yes. All right, well, there she is. Now, I am going to throw in a little bit more of this setting powder, blur powder. Actually, again, I'm going to put this luminizer on from 100% Pure. I just love this, the way that this luminizer, the light hits it. It's just a really natural highlight. Just going to throw it right here. And what do we do last but not least? I always forget to do on this camera because I'm always in such a rush because I have so much chaos going on when I'm trying to make these videos. I need to set my face. And this is what I do. And I use right now this Cherry Matte Setting Spray from Pacifica. They have another setting spray too called like Crystal something setting spray, but I haven't gotten that yet. And then I just like to take my little sponge and kind of like press everything in. I feel like it just like seals it or something while my setting powder dries, or setting spray dries. And there we go, Scorpio. All right, I'm going to finish doing everything and I will be back in just a minute. All right, guys, so here I am done with my full put together Moon and Scorpio look for the Libra cycle, October 2019. So for my makeup today, I just wanted to go with the black and the red of Mars and Pluto, the rulers of Scorpio, and I just kind of wanted to keep it a little toned down, not quite, you know, as like dark and crazy as you might want to go with a Scorpio vibe, but today for my makeup, I just wanted to use some reds and some blacks and some more like intensey type of colors. That's what I like to do when the moon goes through Scorpio. And I'm not wearing earrings and I'm not wearing a ton of jewelry. Scorpio has two very masculine rulers. And so Scorpio is another sign. When the moon goes through it every month, I'm not really on my most feminine. I'm more on my like clothes that I can be more active in and get things done more in, and not so like restrictive because they're just so pretty and, you know, I can't really run that well like wearing a dress, stuff like that. So for my makeup today, I did keep it kind of simple. I only used a few shades. I went in with Quartz from my Cosmic Reflex palette all over my eyes, and then I used Athena from my Moonflower, Pacifica Moonflower palette just in the crease, and then I went over my whole lid with this shade Crystal Flower out of the Cosmic Reflect, my new Cosmic Reflect Hemp Infused Pacifica palette. And then I went around my eye with all of that, and I just did a black line with my Pacifica Black Liquid Liner. And then I threw on my 100% Pure Green Tea Mascara from 100% Pure, and it smells so good. And then for my cheeks, I used the shade Antique Brick in the Natural Minerals from the All Natural Face. It was a sample pack that I have. And for my lips today, I did Mineral Fusion. We're just Mineral Fusioning it out. I also used Mineral Fusion bronzer, and I used a shade out of the Mineral Fusions Illuminator palette called Radiance. It looks like, and it's quite gorgeous. For my lips, I lined with the Mineral Fusion pencil in Graceful, one of my favorites, and then I tried for the first time an actual Mineral Fusion lipstick in the shade Molten, and I was surprised. I tried it yesterday over another color, and I wasn't loving it. However, with the liner and nothing on under my lips, it looks really nice. I tapped on a little bit of setting powder from the All Natural Face to matte it down a little bit. Tapped it on to take a little bit of the sheen away. And yes, that's my makeup, and that's my Scorpio look for the day. Being a little more sporty, hair up, not a ton of jewelry, not like a big glam look, just kind of wanted to play with the reds and the blacks for Mars and Pluto today. And so that's what I did. Now, in terms of the astrology for Scorpio for the month, we have to remember that Scorpio is the sign opposite Taurus, and Uranus currently is in Taurus. Uranus brings shakeups, surprises, accidents, things out of the blue that you're completely not expecting, that kind of throw everything up in the air and make sure that it lands kind of in a completely different way than it was before, but it will always be in a better way that benefits you in the long term. So we have Uranus in Taurus the next 7 years. For this new moon, Uranus was at 6 degrees of Taurus and the new moon was at 6 degrees of Libra. Both Venus ruled signs and both at the same degree. So because of that, I feel like Uranus in Taurus is going to be doing some very helpful and possibly causing some beautiful changes, maybe in relationships, Venus, or money, Venus, this month because of the degrees, because they were at the same degrees, both in Venus ruled signs, and it's the Libra cycle, and Venus rules Libra. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about Uranus, and Moon will go through Scorpio and oppose Uranus this cycle, and that might be sort of like a trigger point for the energies in Uranus in Taurus. So be prepared over the next couple days as the Moon goes through Scorpio that there might be some type of shocks, surprises, things coming out of the blue, but remember, Venus is involved and it will ultimately be for the good. Okay, now for you ascendant Sun, Moon, Scorpio people, the new moon happened in your 12th house, because if you're an ascendant in Scorpio, that puts Libra on the 12th. And so you might be feeling like kind of like an internalization of things, like a desire to retreat, maybe like to have leisure time, to relax, to go on like some vacations, some long distance travel possibly. The 12th house is all about kind of like reconnecting to something higher than ourselves or outside of ourselves, sort of like removing ourselves from the more mundane aspects of the world. And with all of the planets there for this cycle in Libra, as you're an ascendant in Scorpio, you might just not have so much outward energy. The energy may be turned inward a little bit. You may have more of a desire to rest, like recreate, have leisure time, kind of like escape the cumbersome tasks of daily life, and that's kind of what you're being called to do during this time. Now, also, your ruling planet Mars, well, one of your ruling planets Mars, is like what the ancient astrology people kind of say is like invisible during this time. Like it's very close to the sun. It's like combust and it can't be seen in its own energy form. So that's been going on for a little while, and it's going to continue through next month, November. And that might also kind of have you internalizing energy and not like feeling super active, because Mars, your ruling planet, is not able to be seen right now. So the energies aren't expressing like in the fullest way. And so throughout that month, in addition to all the 12th house planets, which Mars will also be moving to your 12th house, again, that might be an emphasis, lack of energy, desire to retreat from things, kind of escape from things, kind of take it easy, internalize, stuff like that. Look for like some type of connection or something on the less mundane level. That's the type of stuff that we're talking about. And this actually works out quite well for you guys during this time, because you do have the Black Moon and Neptune conjunction happening in your 5th house, and you have then the North Node in your 9th house. So for you guys, Scorpio ascendants, because you guys are the frequency that's forming that grand trine, you really are like getting a ton of assistance to clear, resolve, dissolve, heal from shadow side issues, so that you can move forward and have in alignment with your more destined beliefs, perceptions of life, understandings of reality, stuff like that, because of your North Node in the 9th house right now. You also have Jupiter currently in your 2nd house of finances. The 2nd house is also ruled by Venus. And at the time of the new moon, Venus was an exact sextile, a positive, easy aspect with Jupiter. So all Venus things should be growing and expanding throughout this month because of the placement of Jupiter and Venus at the new moon. And with you having Jupiter in your 2nd house, which is ruled by Venus, there's a really good chance that this month, particularly during this Libra cycle, that you could experience some really beautiful expansion in terms of like value, resources, money, finances, possessions, security, anything like that could experience some type of expansion, and it will be in a really beautiful, positive way because of all of the Venus that's involved in it. Now, finally, your other ruler, Pluto, is with Saturn in the South Node in your 3rd house. So that's like communications, messages, information, coworkers, relatives, brothers and sisters, people that you interact with like on a daily basis, acquaintances, stuff like that. So there could be some type of restructuring, transformation that goes on in the way that you are communicating or receiving information or understanding things or learning things or teaching things or writing things, stuff like that. And because Venus is with Mercury at the new moon, and Mercury rules the third house where Pluto and Saturn and the South Node are for you now, look for, maybe messages, information, communications, and how that is transforming and restructuring itself in some way. Also, because Venus and Mercury are currently in your 12th, the 12th is also, creative inspiration, like unconditional ability to channel like imagination and stuff like that. So with Venus and Mercury and all the planets there, you might also feel very inspired creatively in terms of like writing, maybe like writing music, like drawing, painting, any type of communication blended with beauty type stuff. So that's basically what I have for you guys today. This is my look for the moon in Scorpio. And this is my makeup for the moon in Scorpio. And that's the astrology for the moon in Scorpio. For all of us, we just have that opposition to Uranus happening for the first time since the new moon occurred at the same degrees as Uranus is stationed now in Venus's other sign. So that's kind of the big news when the moon goes through Scorpio. Also, you ascendants in Scorpio are forming the trine between Black Moon, Neptune, and the North Node. So there's a lot of assistance for you guys coming this month. And your planet is invisible and will be coming visible soon next month. So just hold tight. It's okay if you don't have tons of energy right now. Just maybe try to use it to internalize and process and create. With Pluto, Saturn, South Node in the third house, all of that energy in the 12th house, your ruler invisible, and the Black Moon and Neptune in trine to the North Node and your ascendant. This might just be a really good cycle for you to be more internal, for you to look more inside, for you to spend more time maybe on those trauma, shadow, like under the surface Scorpio issues, because you really do have a tremendous amount of assistance this month because you're forming the trine and because the conjunction was exact and because it's the Libra cycle and all of the Venus relationships to the Black Moon and Neptune and Pisces. And then there's the North Node, and you guys are the third piece. So I really feel like you have a lot of assistance this month, and it's just going to take a little bit of kind of being more secluded, more to yourself, more relaxation, more rest, more internalizing. And you guys are going to be set up to be on a great path, especially with Uranus opposite your sign, to reach that North Node where we're all going to for the grand conjunction Saturn, Pluto, South Node, January 2020. We're getting there, and you guys are doing a great job. So there's my astrology for Scorpio for the month, you guys. And this is my gorge Scorpio makeup look for the month. I am really happy about it. I feel totally on my Scorpio vibe to go out and do my day. And I will see you guys next time for the moon in Sagittarius. Yay! Hope you guys got something out of this video, whether it be in terms of astrology or fun makeup to play with. And I will see you next time. Until then, AstroBeauty out.